You're welcome to Odomankoma Village, and my name is Salasi. Yeah, so I'm going to take you through all the Kente weaving process. First of all, we are going to look at a brief history about the Kente fabric. We look at the materials that we use to weave the Kente. We look at the spinning process before we go out to go and see how we weave the Kente. We also look at the various types of weaves. What I hold in my hands is a Kente strip, and strip weaving has existed in West Africa since the 11th century. So the Kente cloth are always woven in this narrow stress form. Before at the end, we join these pieces together before we get the whole fabric. So we join them either by hand or by sewing machine. But before the existence of this strip form of weaving, in the olden days, our forefathers were weaving a certain type of weave. We call it earth weave. And this is a sample of the cloth that our forefathers were weaving in the olden days. That's the earth weave. So they were weaving the end product of this to cover their nakedness, as shown in the picture here. So it got to a time that one of the Ashanti king, he realized that his people have knowledge about this type of weave. So he gathered the good ones, he sent them to a village called Bondugu. So these weavers went to Bondugu to go and upgrade themselves about the weaving. So after their return, these weavers were employed by the king in his palace, where they were weaving for the royal family. So in the olden days, Kente was a reserved cloth only for the royals. So it was not a common cloth for anybody. It was just for the royal family. So it became a royal cloth from 11th century till 17th century, before Kente was exposed to many people. So now it's common for everyone to use. So once you have your money, now you can purchase any type of Kente that you want. So here what we do is, if you are going to meet the king, that's where you have to be selective about your Kente. So what we normally do is, you are going to meet the king, but you don't know what the chief is wearing. So you just put it on your cloth. But we have a certain chiefs whose duties is to see what the people are wearing before the chief or the king also chooses his cloth. So they will come and look through the entire people who have gathered there to see the Kente that they are wearing before the king will also chooses his cloth. But when the king sit down before you come, the cloth that you are wearing, if that's the same pattern that the king is also wearing, then you have to go and change it. That's the rules. If want the chief sit down, but if he has not sit down, then that people have to come and check before the king selects his own. But if he sits down and you come in after the chief, you're also wearing the same pattern, you go and change it. Let's look at how we got the name Kente. The name Kente was derived from the word gorgeous. So the moment you put on the fabric, you become gorgeous, like a peacock. And gorgeous, in our local translation, or the tree version, it also means Kente. Kente. So through the word Kente, K-E-N-T-E-N, that we derive the name Kente. Kente also means like basket. So baskets in P we call Kente. So when you look at the Kente, you see when they are weaving it, they do interlacement. The same way that Kente also goes through, you have to interlace. So through the word Kente, that we got the name Kente, meaning gorgeous. So the moment you hear the name Kente too, then we are talking about a hand-woven fabric from Ghana. Now we have registered it as GI. So now it's a property of Ghana, no other African country. So if you are searching for Kente, then you have to come to Ghana. Yeah. So we go on further to explain that Kente is a visual representation of history, ethics. It's a powerful cultural symbol, and Kente is also a medium of communication. It's also a source of pride, both for Ghanaians in the African diaspora, and the cloth also chronicles the local history, which reflect the cultural value of the people. So if I love someone, if I hate someone, I want to express my feelings, we can communicate through the patterns. So almost all the patterns that you see here has a name and also a message it conveys. So the names and the meanings of the Kente patterns are always derived from philosophical concepts, oral literature, individual achievement, and some attribute of plant and animal life. We also name it after great events and also after an important personality. That's how we go there. So the names are always decided by the weavers and the Kente chief. So we have a chief responsible for Kente. So we call it Kente Hene, Kente chief. So once the weaver comes out with a new pattern, then they consult the chief. So both of them comes out with the meaning before the cloth will come out or exposed to many people. So those who are going to sell it, they carry the message. So almost all the people understand the language because we all know that Kente has a message. So once you are going to sell it, people will ask you, what's the name of this pattern? What's the name of this pattern? Then they also give them the meaning. Then they spread it. So let's look at some of the meanings of some of the Kente patterns. So let's look at this one. This pattern means the road to success. It's not a smooth road. Success is a rough road. So this one communicates about life journey. That for you to be able to achieve your goals, you need to work hard before you can achieve whatever that you want to achieve. It also means life is ups and downs. So it's not a smooth journey. Yeah. So in P we call it in Chin Chim. So when we talk about in Chin Chim, then we are talking about like zigzag. In Chin Chim. Yeah. We also have this pattern, and historically, Kwame Nkrumah was our first president, and Kwame Nkrumah married from Egypt. Ghana and Egypt, we are the same African, but our culture is different. So Kwame Nkrumah from Egypt married from Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana married from Egypt. That means if not unity, the marriage wouldn't have come on. So the weavers wove this to communicate about unity and to also communicate that we are all one. So no matter where you are coming from, no racism, no tribalism, no discrimination. That's the message this communicates about. But the popular name that everybody knows is Fatia Fata Nkrumah. Fatia Fata Nkrumah. Fatia the Fifth Nkrumah. Now the wife's name is even popular than anything. So if you want to get this pattern anywhere, you just mention the wife's name, Fatia Kente. Everybody knows the kind of pattern that no matter the color can change. So always you just look at the patterns. It's the patterns that brings out the message. We also have this pattern, and this pattern also means stop jealousy. So we also wove this to communicate to people in our community and wherever that you find ourselves. Because sometimes once they see your success, once they see that you are making it in life, that's where people start envying. Then they will be talking, backbiting you. So we wove this because it's very, very common in our community. So we wove this to tell people that jealous or envy is not good. We cannot fight. So we have this to carry the message. So you just put it on. You are carrying your message. Stop jealousy. If I give it to you personally, it's an attack. Yeah. So you don't fight, just put it on, or you can just sew it. Once they see it, they know that this is the message that you are carrying around. Yeah. So this one too, in P we call it Odomankoma or time. That's like if you're more than your brother or if you're more than your colleague, they envy you. Odomankoma or time. This pattern also means better days ahead. Better days ahead. So never give up. So when we were inaugurating our current president, he used this to sew a very nice dress for his inauguration. Yeah, because it was talking about him. He was a president for 4 years. He voted out. He waited for 8 years in opposition, and then he has been voted back again. So there was better days awaiting for him. So he didn't give up. This pattern is called the Obama Kente. So when Obama visited Ghana for the first time, that was the time that the weavers, they got that idea of using Kente in embroidery. So the symbols is done with the embroidery machine on the Kente. So before that time, this idea was not there. So when he came that time, the weavers has gotten this idea. So it was a new pattern. So once he came, then he said, oh, then let's name it after him, Obama. So the name of this cloth is called Obama. So it's popular. Once you mention Obama Kente, everybody knows that you are talking about this kind of Kente. Yeah, and now there's no festival that you go that you won't see Obama Kente there. It's popular everywhere. Yeah. So it comes in different colors and also in different types. Yeah. And Kente is more than just a piece of fabric. And here, when you come to Ghana, we mostly use this for special occasions. So you hardly see people wearing Kente every day. So in occasions like weddings, festivals, funerals, church service, when you are going for important meetings and also great events, that's where you see people are wearing Kente. So apart from using it for special occasions, traditionally, it's also very important in our marriages. If any man wants to marry an Ashanti woman, in Ashanti culture, Kente play an important role. The man going to marry a woman from Ashanti, you have to buy Kente for the mother and father of the lady that you are going to marry. The reason is the mother and father, they took care of the lady, they clothed them, they spend on her. So you come to take them from them, that's what they also need from you. And they also have other items that you also add, but you can't take Kente out of it. So it has become our culture. Even any sacred day, whether I could sit there, we could there, once the king, they sit down, the costume that you see them wearing is Kente. So Kente is our culture. I want us to also look at the materials that we use to weave the Kente. So the first material that was introduced in the weaving industry was cotton. Yeah. So Ghana, we only got cotton for our production. So this is a typical Ghanaian cotton fibers. So this is grown cotton in Ghana, in the northern region. So it's only the northern region that you can get cotton in Ghana. So in the olden days, after they have harvested this, they were using their hands to do the spinning before they use it to weave. So in the olden days, before they finish one Kente, it takes them like months, about 6 months before they finish, just because the work was very tedious. And when it comes to the coloring too, it was natural dyes. So the common Kente was just like black and white, and also white and indigo. That was the common kind of colors that was introduced in the olden days. During the transatlantic slave trade, when we're having the barter trading system where you exchange commodity for another commodity, that's where we also got different weaving materials. So since then now we got rayon. We also have silk. And we have this metallic yarn. So this is what we use to get the sparkling effect. So this has been introduced about 20 years ago. So whether it's cotton, rayon, silk, we have it in the hands form. So the hands form is the oldest form of thread that we were using. So in the olden days, there was nothing like the cone thread. It was not spun onto the cone. The factory, they were just producing like this. So we also built this locally, the skin winder, where you put the hand thread on to serve as a stand before you use the bobbin winder to do the spinning. But now, when you have the cone, or when you buy the cone, we don't use the skin winder, we just use the bobbin winder to do the spinning. So I'm going to demonstrate for you to see how we do the spinning. Spinning is the first stage of the weave, and you cannot buy this and then you use it to weave. It's not possible. And you can't also buy this and then use it. Once you buy them, we have these two. We call the shuttle. Without these two, you can't weave, because this is what you use for interlacement. We have the warp and then the wedge for interlacement. So you need to spin all the thread on the bobbin. So the bobbin can only fit into this two. So when you buy this, you cannot put it in the shuttle, neither this. So that's why we have to do the spinning to turn everything from this form onto the bobbin before we place it in the shuttle. Bamboo. So we place it here, then we stabilize the bobbin winder with our two legs. We hold the thread with the left hand, you use our right hand to hold the winder, so you spin it in a clockwise direction. So this is how we do the spinning when you are using the skin winder or the hand thread. And when we are also using the cone, then you just take this out. You see that the cone is very easy. Yeah, very and very fast than using the hands. So we are on the next stage of the weave, and this whole structure here, we call it loom. This is the end product of the span thread, what we were doing right there. So we place it. So when you take it from there, it's like this. So we place it in the shuttle. So this is what we are going to use for the interlacement. Then we also have the background. This is the warp. So this is where we calculate for the width and the length of the cloth. The width also comes from these two, we call it beta. We have about 100 space here. Each space takes 4 of the thread. So 4 times 100 give us 400. Okay. We have to pass all the yarns through the weaving tool. So we have this, a pair of feathers, and we have the beta. So the 400 thread, we will take it 2 each. So 2 goes here, then 2 also comes here. So we take it 2 each. 2 goes here, 2 goes here. So all the thread connected to this shouldn't have any connection to this. So when you finish, when you separate them, one goes up, one comes down, then you get a space. So this is where the shuttle will be going through. Then the beater is to also beat it to make it more compact. So we have to also pass it through the beater. So we take 2 from the back, 2 from the front, making 4. Then also goes through one space. So we do it continuously to fill all the beater. Then we tied everything onto the cloth beam before we start the actual weave. So we are going to look at the 3 main types of weave that we have. We have the simple weave, double weave, and the triple weave. So let's first see the simple weave. That's the plain fabric. There is no design in it. So this is where the beginning of the weave starts from. It helps you to know how to coordinate and also to increase your speed. So let's see how the coordination goes. When you have the shuttle in your right hand, you put the right foot down. So when you have the shuttle in your right hand, you put the right foot down, you lose the left. You pass it through, beat it. Now I have it in my left hand. So the beater will go back and then switch. Right up, left down. Beat. Beater back, right down, left up. Beater back, left down, right up. Right, beat, left, beat, right, left. So this one, it takes an average of 45 minutes for a professional weaver to get a strip. Yeah. So this is the second stage of the weave, and we call it double weave. So the double weave, when you look at it, now you can clearly see he's making a pattern. So all this pattern, they have all of them in their head. Yeah. So it's part of the training by learning all the patterns in your head. So if there is an order, before he create the pattern, they have to pressure them here with this strength. So every step has been presetted here. So if this design has about 4 steps, so all the 4 steps are here. So you lift it systematically in order. So you lift it 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you repeat it back. Then it goes and it comes back. So you do it back and front. So you get 1 strip, then they cut it, and then you continue with another 1 till you finish everything. So the double weave, always the front and the back is opposite. So when you look at this, you can hold it. So this is the front, and when you look at the back, you see that it's opposite. So here become another design at the back. Yeah. So you see the metallic effect on the cloth. Yeah. So this is the last stage of the weave, the triple weave. So this is the most complicated weave. So the triple weave here, too, they have the patterns in their head, but this time they use their hands to lift them. So the designs are not preset at the back of the weave where you have to lift them with your hands and also the wooden paddle. Here they use their hands, so whilst they make it, so they make the design while they are moving with the colors. So the colors, everything, they have all the designs presetted in their head. So what they are doing at the front is the same thing that they also do at the back. So you can't differentiate between front or back. Front and the back, they are the same. No difference for the triple weave. And here, you can use about 5 colors, 10 colors. So that's the most complicated weave, and they spend 9 hours to make one strip. Yeah. So every day is for one strip. And they use 3 years to learn. So the 3 years, you have to be on apprenticeship to learn how to do the triple weave before you become a professional weaver. Yeah. So all the weavers here, they are all self-employed. Yeah, so the weaving is self-employed. Yeah. So when you produce, you decide whoever that you want to sell it to. Yeah. So what you produce, it's what you sell. Yeah, so they don't depend on anybody. Yeah. So every weaver owns their own loom. Yes. Mostly men. Yeah. But when you go to some other part of the country, like Volta and also northern region, Volta is both men and women. When you go to north, only women. Ashanti, men also do it. Yeah. So here, the reason why men do it, in the olden days, Kente was for the royals. And here in our tradition, it's only men that do everything for the king. Cooking, everything. So it was only men that was doing the Kente for the king. Yeah. So that's why the women, they were not, and there was a taboo behind it that if you're a woman and you weave, you can't give birth. It was a taboo for them not to allow the women to weave. That's what they brought, this taboo. But now, if you're a woman and want to weave, you can weave. But the women, they like the marketing aspect, like to sell it. So they want to sell, now they don't want to weave again.